Well, good afternoon again, my YouTube friends. It's Margaret from M.E.s Orchids, and I've got the camera now mounted on a tripod, which makes life a little bit easier. And sometimes nature can be very cruel. We were sat in the garden last night having a drink, and this is in the back garden, and the next minute such a terrific bang on the window, and this little, look at that. Let me just see if you see what I'm seeing. It's a little baby long-tail tit. I think they call them tits, I'm not sure. And I managed to pick it up and it was still alive, but it had broke its neck. And within a few minutes it had died. And we always feel sad. We feel sad when the cats get hold of the baby birds. And in this instance, it just flew right into the window and broke its neck. So sometimes, you know, we have to accept in life that there are certain things we've no control over. So that went to bird heaven last night, and I shall just bob it in a nice little place in the garden. So now why have I brought you back this afternoon? Well, there's two reasons why I brought you back this afternoon, and you just bear with me because I'm trying to just have a look at the camera and see how far I am away from it. Now this Phalaenopsis here, it's an OID, and I'd got it on a mount, and for some reason, and don't ask me why, it hasn't accepted that mount. It's not sent out any new roots. If I just bring this a little bit closer for you. The only root it's tried to attempt is this one here and this one there, and maybe this one here, but the rest, that's damaged. You see, this one's damaged in that place there, and it's also damaged just underneath. That one's maybe a little bit, I could actually cut that one off, I think. It's making an attempt there. So what I decided in the end is, it's no good struggling with this one. If a Phalaenopsis doesn't like the environment it's in, the roots will tell you. You see, this set of roots here is just hanging on by that thread, but it's still hanging on. I won't cut it off, and but I've had to let it off that mount, and I'll show you in a minute what spurred me on to remove it from that mount. It's got it's got a new root there. Can you see that new root growing there? So I've hydrated it now into this jug here, and I found the same vase that I took one last week out of this environment, and I've repotted that because that had got the white mould on. If you see here, some of these roots I've still got a little bit of bark on. They're looking a little bit worse for wear, but I mean, you know, as you get older, you always have a little bit of scar tissue somewhere, so we just treat this as a little bit of scar tissue. So I've decided to pot it up in this vase now, because you know I've got some of my orchids that are in vases like this, and they're doing very, very well. I've only got one that has for some reason given me some white mould, but I don't think that's a detriment to it. I think that's one of those, that's why I didn't use hydrogen peroxide. I think it's one of those moulds that is maybe, you know, a good mould. So I've potted this one up now in this in here, and I will keep my eye on that one now, because it should really romp away, this one should. To tell you the truth, I can't remember whether I've had it in a vase like this and then decided to mount it. But anyway, it doesn't like the mount, and so it's got to come back into this container. Right. So then the next thing, which was really frustrating for me, do you remember I'd got the LC Bermondsey Palm? I think that's the one. I had it on this mount here. A lovely mount that is. I might reuse that. And I've got the orchids upstairs in the bathroom because that's where I actually spray them. And some of them I just hold over the sink while I do it. And I'll just show you what the consequence of that was. I really could have kicked myself, I tell you. Talk about clumsy. I'm just going to put the light on because I don't know whether that will actually be any better for you. Can you see there? Can you see that there? And that one there? Can you see the bruising? Oh, I nearly died. What happened is, we've got tiles in the bathroom. And well, as you do, never thinking, and I'm holding this up, and of course I'd forgotten about the roots that came out at the side here, and as I turned it round, it bruised those two roots. It was only a split second, and then I thought to myself, oh, I wonder if I've got away with that. And because I thought if I haven't, then I've lost two beautiful roots. So I've had no alternative once I realised that it was going to have to be remounted. I had to get it off this other mount here. And if you remember, one of those roots here had actually gone underneath that bark, and this is the root that had gone underneath that bark. Can you see? A nice little root there, and it's flat, but it's still got, you know, it's still viable. It's not the same colour, but it's still viable. And so I've manoeuvred this on this mount here. That's another growing root there, and we've got a growing tip there. And if we take it over here, now we've got a root here which had reached the end of that other mount and then had just aborted, so it hadn't continued. And if we take it round here, we've got another one there that had reached the end of the mount and that hadn't continued. So I've tied this on with fishing line, and I've put some fresh sphagnum moss around it, not a lot, just to help those roots now, to see whether or not they'll take to this cork mount. There's a little bit of residual water in there, and that's all you need to do. It's quite firm actually on that mount now. This one, this pseudobulb here, that used to hang over the other side of that other mount, but it's wedged now, it's on here. That root comes from here, goes underneath and comes out here, which it did under there. You can see where it used to go underneath there. So that'll soon green up, and there we are. There's the back of it. There's the back of that leaf. For some reason, orchids never do what you want them to do. When you come to mount them, they're either facing the wrong way, which is very frustrating, and or like this one here, they fit better that way, but then of course you've got the leaves which are coming on, you know, which face the wrong way. So decisions have to be made, and I was more interested in, hopefully, when it started to grow again, which it has done with this new pseudobulb, that it would face in the right direction. So again, that's why I brought you back this afternoon, and I'm stood here with the tripod and the camera now, and I'm not rattling one little bit, which is a great joy. And that one, you see, that's been like that for months. Sometimes they just heal themselves and you don't have to worry about it. And so we've had a productive day. Now I've got to go back upstairs and go into the bathroom and put all the other orchids away that I've been watering, and just hope that these two roots are just bruised. You've got to be so careful. They're absolutely so delicate. I can just hear Keith coming down the stairs now. So thank you for joining me again, and from me to you, take care, and we'll speak again soon. Bye bye now.